Hey everyone, so I wanted to show you a couple of guitar amplifiers because this is sort of relevant to the conversation that you guys were having about car interfaces and how the integration of sort of software-based controls is conflicting with a lot of analog knobs and switches that were traditionally found in cars. Well, guitar amplifiers are sort of suffering the same challenging areas. This is a modeling amplifier, which means that it sort of like emulates a whole bunch of different amp types, and then it has a whole bunch of like digital effects that you can put on it. This is actually a pretty old one. It's about like 10 or 15 years old. But you can see that in order to accomplish a whole bunch of controls with a very limited amount of like physical knobs, it has these rings of LEDs right here that allow you to adjust certain parameters, right? So like right now, I'm in edit mode, which means that I'm adjusting the effects that are at the bottom here, right? So when I twist this knob right here, I'm actually adjusting the feedback of the delay. But if I change it if I take it off of edit mode right here, now I'm adjusting the EQ. So it's repurposing those knobs and it's showing you the value of those parameters by using those LEDs right there. I don't think this is a particularly good interface. I think it's a very interesting interface and it solves a problem. The problem being, you've got a lot of things you need to control and only a limited amount of space to do that. And also, this is a guitar amplifier, which is, traditionally a very analog thing. So you still need to have some kind of physical controls. You can't do it all with some kind of software interface. So it's not great, to be honest with you, but it gets the job done. And again, this is a really old one. I'm about to show you a different one that's much more modern, that solves the problem in a different way. And I'm not necessarily convinced that it's better, but I'm going to show you anyway. Hey again, so here is another modeling amplifier that I have, and this one sort of suffers the same kind of difficulties with, hardware and software to indicate, the values of these particular parameters. So you can see right here that there's hardware knobs that adjust all of these parameters, but there's also a software representation of them too. And what's super interesting is that the hardware and the software can be like totally different. So you can see right here the software, which is always really like the source of truth here, is the bass is pretty much maxed, but over here the hardware version is not at all. It's way down low. But what's kind of cool, or annoying, depending on how you look at it, is that if I take this and I adjust the bass, and watch over here, when I adjust the bass right here, it automatically corrects itself to be in line with what the hardware version is. So when I move this up, it moves the software version too. And the reason that these things can get out of sync with each other is because you can change these parameters using a Bluetooth app that connects directly to this amplifier. So you can change all of these things using the application, which does not change any of the actual physical knobs because there's no motor. So this, as you guys said, this is a problem, and there is really not an elegant solution to this. I don't particularly like this, but you do kind of get the best of both worlds because you can make these adjustments in software, but you can also make them sort of like analog and hardware, which is important when you're, playing live and using something like this and don't have time to futz with an application. You need to twist a knob. So that's important, but an interesting UI challenge. I like the versatility of these, but this is sort of complex and almost unnecessarily complex. But there you go.